Alrighty, hello folks. Welcome. Round 4 US Championships kicking off. How's everyone doing? We got Twitch, we got YouTube. DM Hokie, 46 months. Let's go. Let's go. Should be a good day here at US Champs. Yo, we got Jake back. Alright. Getting some regulars going. Love it, love it. Some interesting matchups today. Shankland against Hans. Definitely, for me, a big game to watch. We got Caruana against Mishra. Also, very interesting. We'll see if Caruana can still teach Mishra a thing or two. Nordic, subscribe. Thoughts on the Shevchenko controversy? I don't know. What are your thoughts, folks? Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts? Not good. I'm gonna go ahead and say not good. Is how it looks. But yeah, I don't know if there are any other specific questions people had. By the way, Shankland, I'm very interested in this opening because he's going for this like Neo-Catalan. He's done a course on this. I've looked at his repertoire. I've played it myself. I feel like Black has ways of equalizing. I'm just curious what Hans is going to do, how things will play out. Should be interesting. It looks really bad. Yeah, it looks bad. I mean, but okay, I saw on Twitter just like a little while ago that there's apparently like a second phone. So now it's like I don't even know what's going on. Like I feel like there's not enough information because like why would there be two phones? Why would there be two phones? That doesn't make any sense. So I don't know what's going on. So I will withhold judgment until more information is known. But yeah, cheating not good. So yeah. Yeah, what if he's getting framed? Yeah, I mean, that also not good. Also not good. See, I just don't know any like facts. I just have like whatever I read in the article. So it's like, I mean, he was going to the bathroom a lot apparently. So that's not something they could really like force him to. Like that's something that he would have to be doing. Maybe he had a legitimate reason. I don't know. I saw these reports that he went to the bathroom and then the arbiter walked in and then he like left the bathroom and like he didn't even like use the stall or so, like I don't even know. I don't know what's going on. So, but there's apparently there's a lot of weird stuff that he may or may not have done. And in this day and age, you can't really trust anything you read online. So, I am still withholding judgment, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, of course, for Kirill. That said, the whole story seems very strange to me, so I wouldn't be... To me, it seems like there's something more going on. I don't really know. D4. Okay, Shankland actually transposes back into just typical Catalan, so this opening has gone a little bit less interesting, but still, okay, very topical. I mean, this is a position as old as time itself. D takes c4. Okay, Hans choosing one of several approaches. Generally, Black can think about either taking the pawn like he does here, which is perfectly solid, or playing with c6 is also totally acceptable here. But Hans decides to take. Now Sam goes queen a4. Queen c2 has long been the typical move, but the idea behind queen a4 is to be able to take on c4 without allowing Black this move b5, which is kind of annoying these days. After queen c2, b5 is quite playable. So queen a4 is one of many decent moves here as White looks to just win back the pawn. And yeah, lots of theory here. After a6, queen takes c4, b5, queen drops back to c2, bishop b7. And yeah, generally Black is supposed to be okay if they know their stuff. We'll see how well Hans does, or if Sam can put him under some pressure here. Okay, and we're getting, yeah, this theory. Takes here, queen c2. Typical stuff. Yeah, Jake, that's what I believe as well. I think black is supposed to be totally fine. I was looking at this not too long ago. I didn't really see anything special here for white. Seems like black is generally, yeah, holding their own. But looks like Sam will try something. Bishop d2. This is a pretty normal move. A lot of times, like bishop comes to a5. White supports b4. Both of these moves are aimed at trying to prevent black from going c5, which is black's main idea here. And yeah, black has different ideas, like they want to go knight d7, c5. They can go bishop e4 to mess with white's queen. So we'll see what Hans comes up with. I remember bishop e4 and c6 being a thing recently. But yeah, this is a very well-known position, so for sure if Sam, yeah, played d4 and queen a4, he's very much got some idea in mind. But okay, he's not, I mean, I doubt he's refuted the Catalan overnight. Probably he just has some interesting try, and yeah, if Hans is precise, should be able to equalize. Okay, a wonder against Robson is interesting. h3 Najdorf. e5 knight to b3, the modern trend. White often goes like bishop e3 and g4. Okay, we'll see how this one develops. And Dominguez Aronian. Oh, so Aronian started playing, has prepared the French for this tournament. Against Fabi, Fabi played this early move dc5, which was very surprising. Here, Dominguez goes for the classic main line. And I was wondering what Levon had cooked up here. It looks like a6 and b5. I used to play this line myself as black, actually. It was just like very straightforward. Bishop b7, queen b6, some b4, a5. You just try to get some queenside counterplay going. Maybe bishop comes out to a6. And yeah, it was fun. It was fun, very double-edged. These days, I think white is doing well here if they know their stuff. I'll be curious, actually. I'll be following the theory on this one. Be curious how well Dominguez is like really, like I was looking at some e4 theory recently, and like Dominguez is just everywhere in terms of leading the theory. But yeah, I was looking at French not too long ago, so I'll be curious what happens here. Queen d2, b5, bishop e2, cd4, knight d4. Oh, interesting. Okay. I don't remember bishop e2 being the most dangerous move, but of course theory has advanced. And this was the game. Oh, Dominguez had this against Korobov. Oh, interesting. Very recently. But he played that was with bishop e7. Okay. So here we have b5 and bishop e2. And then what did Levon do? He went cd4, knight d4, knight d4, bishop d4, bishop c5. Yeah, not much theory here. But bishop e2 is rare, I would say. It has been played. Christopher, you played it recently against Bashir Lagrave in Bullet. Okay, interesting. But other than bishop e2, let's see, dc5 is main move, a3. h4. Yeah, I mean, these positions are tough for black with the bishop on b7. They are very playable. Like, black is okay in the French, but you have to know exactly how to play it. IMO. And I never really recommended the French. I used to play the French a lot. I played it a bunch from like 18 to 2200, but like OTB rating. But after thinking about it, I can't say I really recommend the French as an opening. Like the Sicilian I like. I think the Sicilian is a good opening. I would recommend the Sicilian. French, don't love it. Okay, now Dominguez has a choice. He is not really bothered by the pressure on d4, so he can castle either way. I think queenside seems a little bit more ambitious to me. And me and David just had the structure the other day in team chess, and yeah, we played for the f5 break, which is generally the main plan in this position, but White has other ideas as well, just like gaining space on the king side, putting pressure on the queen side with like a4. So a lot of options here for White. Generally, you want to get the knight to d4, so I would consider a move like bishop f3 to go knight e2, but the bishop really wants to be on d3, knight on e2 like this, which is hard to achieve. Another move would be queen e3 in order to then play bishop d3, knight e2, but it's a little bit slow. Queen e3, b4, maybe knight a4, take. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. In general, I feel like White is usually the one pushing for an advantage in this position, or in these kinds of positions. At least a small edge. So I don't see why this should be hugely different. Okay, folks, I'm going to keep looking around. Oh, Caruana Mishra looks like this was also French. And here Caruana goes for the classical, but doesn't go for mainline f4, plays this tricky move knight e2, which is sharp, but I think if black is well prepared here, generally they're supposed to be fine. So knight f3. White's idea is usually to go like knight f4 and play on the king side. Then like h4, h5, and so on. Bishop b7, g3. And now Mishra's thinking here. And castles. Castles is always risky, especially if you've spent some time and you don't 100% know the position, because White's attack builds up very quickly here, and Fabi just goes h4. So this is a very direct attempt to mate. Like, this line is really aggressive. Knight f4, bishop d3, and then White's already threatening to sack on h7. Could just put some moves on the board. Let's say a6, he goes for the Levant approach. b5, bishop d3, bishop b7, and then Fabi goes boom. Welcome to the dojo. Knight g5 check, h6 g5 check, and it's just checkmate. It's just mate. So that's why this line I think is kind of dangerous, especially at lower levels and in blitz, because you just have this like ready-made plan. And at this point, actually, I think it would be too late. I think a6 b5 is bad. I think at this point, black is basically just busted, because if you go g6, you get cracked open with h5, and White's just going to sack on g6 soon, and the queen will come in, and it will just be checkmate. If you go h6, then White can play g4 and g5, among other things. This is also an idea, bishop b1, queen c2. So black is like, yeah, needs to be very quick here after h4. And probably play a move like f6. Yeah, before the knight is on f4, it can just meet that with knight takes e6. So basically, if White gets one move here to play knight f4, then I think black would be in huge trouble, because then e6 would hang and you wouldn't have the f6 break. And I think you have to play f6 here, I think. The question then begs to be asked, why not knight f4 from white a move ago? And not really sure. I imagine there's theory here. G5 doesn't seem like a thing. Knight h5. Maybe G5, G4. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason, because Fabi played h4 very quickly. And yeah, he's definitely still in his prep here. Okay, danger town for Mishra. You know, you don't want to mess with Fabi when he's in his prep, especially in like sharp position like this. You want to be really careful. You know what you're doing. Okay, Han's still thinking after bishop b7, bishop d2. I'm sure he knows a lot of theory here, but maybe he didn't expect that for this game, and so he's trying to just remember what's the most solid approach. A wonder against Ray goes queen f3. Interesting, because this is, yeah, pretty aggressive setup. He wants bishop e3 and g4 stuff. And then Dominguez Aronian. Oh, he takes on c5, knight c5, queen d4. Okay. Yeah, Dominguez playing for small edge here. Attacks this knight. I think prepares castling, as well as eventually bishop d3, knight e2. So, Aronian testing Dominguez here in terms of his French skill. How good is he at playing against the French? Hey, MD Knight. Ray needs to stop the bleeding ASAP. Yeah, I know Ray's been struggling. Hopefully he bounces back. He's a little bit under pressure today. He's played his usual Najdorf. I wonder has played a pretty topical line, h3, knight b3. It was like this. Bishop e6 is normal. Queen f3 I think is pretty typical, and seems like Ray's spending time and might be a little bit not remembering the theory. Not sure. So, but okay, it's a Najdorf. Ray's very good at these kinds of positions, so he should be all right. You guys let me know which game you want to watch. We haven't checked out this game yet. Wesley So against Opara, and this one actually interesting opening. Queen's Gambit declined with a6. This is a pretty topical line. Bishop f4, c5, e3, knight c6, knight e2, knight f6, and g3. Kind of unusual setup from Wesley. It's one of these things that the computer is now suggesting in many positions, to go like e3 and g3 just to get just a very solid grip. And bishop on f4 is left stranded, but it's hard for black to do anything. If h6, white goes h4. It's really hard to get g5 in because white's going to go h5 soon. Bishop g2. And yeah, white's just ready to trade this bishop off or whatever. Doesn't matter. Knight will come to f4. And then put pressure on d5. So yeah, interesting opening from Wesley. Definitely this is a game that I think he should be trying to win in order to maximize his chances for the tournament. I'll try to get first. And Wesley has he won US Championship yet? Not sure he ever. No, I think he did win one, right? Or did he win two? I'm not sure if he's won either one or two. or three. He's won three. He's won three? I thought for sure the number was two. And possibly one. Oh, wow. No, 3 times. Wow, how about that? Yeah, 2017, 2020, 2021. Okay, one of them was the online one. Ah, okay, okay, okay. No, but Fabi's also won 3 times. I believe. So yeah, 2 OTB ones, 1 online. So 2019 was Hikaru. Yeah, 2018 was Sam. Oh, Caruana's 2-time returning champ. Hold on, I need to mention this. I know he's returning champ. He's 2-time returning champ. Oh, I didn't. Oh, so he's going for 3-peat. Wait, Fabi has 2 titles or 3 titles? Guess I don't understand if 2020, because apparently they tied for first 2021, but I understand if I don't think he would get the. I think Wesley got the title 2021. How many titles Fabi has? Where's ChatGPT? Wikipedia says he's the reigning 3-time U.S. chess champion, which is not true. Wesley won. Or do they mean 3 times total? Ah, 2016. Oh, I see. So reigning plus 3-time. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. I don't know why I confused myself. Anyway. So Wesley trying to win his 4th title, as I said. So, big goal for him. Fabi trying to get his 4th. And CD4, 94, huh? CD4, 94. I mean, this looks like a nice structure for white. After takes, bishop g2 comes, castles, rook d1. D pawn will be very weak. So bishop c5. Grigory playing like Dubov Tarash style. I think he wants to take on d4 and force white to take with the pawn. Get rid of his weakness. But here Wesley can think about knight b3, knight back to e2, other knight to e2. All these moves have drawbacks though. Like if knight b3, then bishop b4, I think maybe a little bit annoying. Or perhaps bishop a7 and trying to play d4 would be the idea. If you go knight e2, then you have to deal with bishop b4 check, and then you got to go back. And then if you bring this knight to e2, then black might just be looking to go d4. Although here it would be takes. And I think white would be... Well, even here actually black would have compensation for the pawn. I don't know how much exactly, but I think some compensation. But you can also go d4 here before castling, which maybe is safer. Yeah, taking on c6 is probably playable as well. The idea like rook c1, knight a4 eventually. Let's say bishop g2, castles, castles, a5, rook c1, bishop a6, knight e2, something like this. Queen e7. I would think black is probably fine here as well. Should be pretty active. Rook can come to c8, d8, bishop a7. Yeah, so I think multiple choices here for white. Knight b3 seems ambitious. It's bishop g2, then knight takes d4, ed4. I think black is fine there, bishop d6. Did I see the new cheating scandal? I did. Will we get a Dojo Talks on it? I'm not sure. I'm not clear what the topic is exactly. So, yeah, that's kind of the problem. Sometimes, like, you have the scandal, and then it's like, okay, but then what's there to say about it? Cheating not good. Cheating accusations also not good. You know. What do you say from there? How could this guy cheat? Hans. Okay, Hans went bishop e4, c6, a4, knight d7, knight c3, trade, queen b6. And yeah, he played these ones actually pretty quickly, so I think he was just trying to remember this line. I imagine this is quite solid for black, but okay, white has two bishops. Maybe Sam can do something with this. I'm not sure. I'd be interested to see if he can get anything. So far, Sam has had 3 draws, and he should have won at least one of them. At least against Dominguez. But he's also doing well both against the Wonder and against Wesley, so pretty good tournament for him thus far. Kramnik isn't wrong 100% of the time. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Do I think this is the strongest championship ever? It's definitely one of the strongest. I don't know. Was there one? You guys maybe can help me out. Was there one where we had all the top players? Like Fabi, Naka, So, Dominguez, and Levon? Did all 5 ever play one year? Or has someone else? Because I know Levon hasn't played that many. And did he ever play same year as Naka? Because there's no Naka, so this one obviously has been weakened by that. If he played, he would win easily. Of course, he would take gold. Obviously, but yeah, unfortunately, he's not playing this one. If he played this year or last year, he would have definitely won first place easily. Easily. Okay, queen b6. Sam thinking. Doesn't want to go e3. He could throw an ab5. I don't quite see the point of that. I don't like bishop e3. Just get hit with knight d5, but maybe bishop e3. It's not so bad. Knight d5. Take. Yeah, I don't see what's so bad with bishop e3. Bishop g5. Maybe. But then... Oh, I see. If takes, rook d1. Then queen c5. Probably there's some tactics there. Maybe 4 or something. He just goes e3. Yeah, that's what I thought. E3 just feels like the normal move. And then black, I think, times to move the rook probably, one of these moves, and then c5 feels like the way you usually equalize here. And I don't see what white can do in the meantime. Maybe just rook ac8. Looking to play c5 next move, and how does white pose any problems here, yeah? Good, rook c8. Yeah, as we said. Time, I think, so far, totally fine. Only 15 minutes. And they're already at move 15. So they got like an hour to make 25 moves. I think, yeah. Time pressure, not really a factor yet. But, okay, if he takes a couple 10, 15-minute things, then for sure it will start to play a role. Now, a question for white is, how do you deal with the c5 break, which generally equalizes for black, all else being equal? So a takes b5, black will go ab. We can definitely throw that in, but then same question remains. Black wants to go c5, and what's our next move? e5 might be a thought as well, but yeah, I think c5 is kind of the main idea for black. Yeah, so queen d1, not sure. We go c5, and then what would be the follow-up there? And then b4, this idea, I think take, knight a4, take, rook b1, bishop d2, I think allows black to get out. So ab5, Hans didn't recapture immediately. I guess he's thinking about cb5, which positionally looks less desirable. And yeah, he doesn't wonder for too long, goes ab5. Now, once again, this is a question. Bishop e2, I think c5 anyway. Looking to take here. Yeah, I don't think white's stopping this one. I think white just needs to get out of the way somehow. Like, for example, queen b1, c5, take, b4, knight d7, queen b3. I could see white pretending to be better here. And then black saying that rook c4. Who's better and why? And then white could be like knight a4. I'm better and why? And then black would be like, nah. Wait, hold on. Is it touch move? Black would be like, is it touch move? White would be like, no. And then black would be like, okay, then I will go here. And white would go here. Then black would go here. Then white would go here. Maybe this or this. Some situation like this, maybe white has small advantage, but I think for the most part, black is going to be okay. A lot of squares. So let's go back. So Sam's still thinking here, but yeah, that was queen b1, c5, take, here. Who's better and why? I'm better and why? Queen c7. And knight b2. Or rook c1, maybe clever move. Rook c8, not so clever. Rook takes c4, but wait, maybe queen c4, take, and then check. And then, actually, this could be unpleasant for black because white wants this. Like if takes, we're giving check and taking. And then the c pawn is running. If takes, there's this. And winning. So maybe kind of unpleasant for black. I'm just trying to understand the position, folks. And my understanding is that white is winning by force after queen b1. So go Sam. Hopefully he finds it. But to me, that looked pretty convincing. Now, so queen b1, c5, Feels like maybe white can still fight for small advantage here. So we want rook a5. This one can come in. Actually, rook a5 here is an option too. So queen b1, maybe black is doing something else. Maybe black is starting with b4. I'm not so sure about c5 actually, because takes b4, it starts to look annoying. Maybe black goes b4 first, and then something like this, and then c5 when white doesn't have the same kind of counterplay. This one, in my experience, is often quite comfortable for black because the bishop on d2 is so passive. Okay, we got to move queen c2. So Sam puts the queen on c2. I guess if c5, he has the same idea available, b4. And queen b3, but I'm not sure that's what he wants. Knight a6 is also here. Maybe knight a6. Okay, nuances, huh? Nuances. Nuances aplenty. So queen c2, c5, take, b4, knight a6. Not sure what he wants, not sure. Yeah, what else other than c5 here? b4 would be the other move in order to try to get some space first and then play c5 eventually. Like, it gives up knight a4, but a lot of times you can play this one anyway. So here, here, and I think black is okay. I think we have 4 defenders, 4 attackers, so I think we can do this. I think black would be fine, something like this. So maybe b4 is possible too, but I don't see the issue here either. Because the difference is maybe white can play b4. I don't think it works because of knight a6, but that would be one reason to play b4 first. Or maybe white has some other move here. Yeah, you got to be careful with the rook on the c file. You don't want to be initiating too many trades. But here also black has knight a4. It seems to be okay. Queen b3. Take, rook c4. Yeah. But I also find this fine. And b4, knight a6 I think is also okay. So yeah, to me it looks like Hans has a choice. Like, either one of these moves seem all right. Okay, anything else interesting going on, folks? You let me know. Got this French. So After h4, Mishra took on d4 and goes f6, which, yeah, we felt like was absolutely necessary. Otherwise, knight f4 was going to harm black. And now Fabi takes, and it's black to play. The normal recapture would be to take with the knight, I think, but yeah, maybe there's some nuance here. Bishop b4 check, I think black does not want, because I think white is happy to trade the dark square bishops here. I think black will be left with more dark square weaknesses. I'll play for queen f6. Yeah, that might be something that's very concrete. Yeah, maybe. Be super sharp though. I have no idea if it's working. But yeah, that definitely seems to be an option. Rook takes f6 I would support if the idea was to go active. If the idea is to go passive, then I definitely don't like it, because you just don't want to be, you don't want to find yourself in a position like this where you're defending passively and you have this like ugly weakness like bishop d3, knight g5, white's just throwing everything at you. You just want to avoid these positions. Like, what's the point? What's the point of playing them, basically? Right. Yeah, French would not be the right approach. So I definitely feel like black needs some activity. I don't see what's so terrible about knight takes f6 to try to get knight e4 in next, something like this. But yeah, this check from Merles might be the way to go from a concrete point of view. Don't know, we'll see. At some point, you gotta mate the white king. Yeah, you would hope. G takes f6, I think is way too opening of the king. So yeah, I would be very, very skeptical of that. I think he's thinking about this bishop b4 check, just because, yeah, it has the potential to be really nice. And if you can get your e5 in, then you're kind of happy as black. But yeah, Abby's thinking about it. Let's see, Hans did go c5. Okay, so we'll see if Sam has anything special there. And oh, we do get, as soon as I left the board, we do get bishop b4 check. So Mishra's on point today. Look at this laser precision. It must be looking at this and then e5. Okay, so Mishra's strong. Let me check out Women's Championship as well. I know today, big game crush against Yip. Just want to see what's happening here. Okay, so English, d4, c5. Chris goes for a sniper. And then e5, e4. I think this is playable, according to the modern engines. It's a new chess. A new chess. Very close position. Irina's very good at these kinds of positions though. But yeah, I think officially black is like kind of okay here. Curious about the theory on this one. So it's c4. Yeah, Gingy Indian, exactly. See, where's the latest theory on this one? Naka been playing yet? Because he used to play with f5. Yeah, so e5 is like, e5 is pretty fresh. In the past, they would always play f5 here, because the idea was that if you let white get e4, then white's doing really well. But then white realized that like f5, e4 is anyway playable. Like you can just play this as a pawn sacrifice, and this is considered pretty dangerous. So then I guess they realized that like e5 is the way to go. Just like, yeah, I don't like just not care about e4, d6, and just play closed structure. Say foo to white's dark squared bishop and just play with the knights. Yeah, very fresh. I see Shamanov has some games here. Van Forest, Darda, Sadwani, e4, d6, bishop d3, knight d7. They tried h4. Okay, something to analyze. Something to analyze. How did Irina play? Knight e2, castles. And we have this position on the board after rook a6. How is it not +1 already? You know, in the past, engines would say it was something like +1, but new engines, like the new Stockfish, is not really impressed. It's actually like, I don't know about this position exactly, but like, yeah, this position after e4, e5, e4, yeah, Stockfish is like, no, black is okay, yeah. Like queen e7, you can't do nothing to me. You know, so we have to adjust our evaluations. It's like, you know, the NNUEs, the neural network engines, they really did change some stuff. Oh, Magnus beat Duda in some game. Duda played for f4. Interesting. Okay, Chris is so far playing fantastic. I don't know if she's going to win this one as well. These positions are very double-edged. It's generally black is kind of just playing for the fortress and just trying to just say you can't break through. But okay, at some point white will play for f4 and open things up, and yeah, things can get very double-edged. Let's see what else. Tatev. Looks like Italian game. Yeah, Fabi's game we were just looking at. We'll get back to it. Knight a3, rook b1. Okay, Tatev has something to play for here. Begim. This is French with bishop f6 and gf. Okay. Nazi had some interesting opening here. How did this one take place? e4, c5, knight c3, a6. Closed Sicilian. Early f4. Looks pretty reasonable for white. I don't like this e5 for black. I feel like this gives white a really nice structure. Now c3. c3 is interesting, like opening up the queen, looking for knight g5 maybe. Yeah, very double-edged position. Okay, we'll keep an eye on these. Let's go back. Yeah, Fabi's game hasn't moved. Yeah, we just saw this. Fabi took on f6, Mishra went bishop b4 check. And now, you know, we'd expect bishop d2, but it's very sharp here. Take, queen takes f6 is coming, and heavy complications are on the way. How are things looking for Sevian? Sevian against you. They went for this line in the QGD. It's actually like very theoretical, very drawish. Wesley So is a big expert on the black side of this and has made a lot of draws with black. You know, it's hard to find something here. So Sevian, you know, went for some attempt, but I don't know. Christopher seems well prepared, and yeah, they got some kind of, you know, the juniors have had a weird tournament. They go into a lot of like equal end games. It's kind of odd. But yeah, that's where they're at. And then Shankland, c5, he went dc, knight c5, and he's thinking here about b4, knight a6, or maybe some other move. Okay, let's keep our eye on Fabi. Any reason why the women's section tends to have more offbeat theory than the open section? Yeah, we talked about this the other day. I mean, I think it's because of the ratings of the players. generally in the open you have all these like 2700s. They're trying to play super, super solid, especially with black, and just like make draws and not fall into worse positions, and then try to push with white, but not take a lot of risk. And then with black, they just want to be solid. In the women's section, you have players that are more around like 2300, 2400, and so they're less interested in just getting super dry equal positions. They just want to play interesting chess and play for a win with both colors. And so I feel like in general at the 2400 level, you just get a much larger variety of openings, whereas 2700, you got a lot of Berlins, a lot of Queen's Gambit declines, this kind of thing. All right, folks. Unfortunately, I won't be able to cover the full round today. I've got to get going, got some work to do, things to take care of before I do the recap later on for St. Louis Chess Club. So I apologize, I'll be cutting it short today. But yeah, I'll be around tomorrow again. I should be around most days to look at some of the games. At least today we got to look at the openings, and yeah, we'll see how these develop. Maybe David or Jesse will be around later. They might want to hop on, do some coverage. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think I'm gonna head out of here pretty soon, and then hopefully catch you guys another time.